The spark that started a universe. You probably remember it. That desert, the Humvee, the snarky genius with a drink in hand. Then, boom. The explosion that changed everything. This wasn't just the birth of Iron Man, it was the moment that rewired Hollywood. Before 2008, Marvel was just a comic book brand struggling for relevance. But when that cave door opened and Tony Stark stepped into the light in his first armor, that was the dawn of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Today, we're breaking down Iron Man 2008, scene by scene, theme by theme, to uncover how a single film transformed pop culture forever. But before we dive into the arc reactor of it all, if this story lit a spark in you like it did for millions around the world, hit that like button, subscribe, and join the Marvel fans who still believe heroes can build themselves. Chapter 1. The billionaire behind the mask. We meet Tony Stark, not in a lab, not in a boardroom, but in a war zone. This opening is crucial. It tells us that even before he becomes Iron Man, Tony lives in a world built by his inventions and destroyed by them. Inside that Humvee, we get Tony in peak form. Cocky, charming, untouchable. He's every bit the rock star engineer who doesn't think twice about consequences. When the bomb hits and the shrapnel flies, the same weapons with his name on them, that's karma in 4K slow motion. And here's something most people miss. That shot of the Stark Industries missile right before the blast, it's not just product placement. It's the visual thesis of the film. Tony's greatest creation becomes his greatest enemy. Chapter 2. The Cave of Awakening. When Tony wakes up in that dimly lit cave with a car battery attached to his chest, he's not just fighting for his life, he's being reborn. Enter Yinsen, the man who saves him, but more importantly, the man who shows him what heroism really is. Yinsen isn't rich, powerful, or famous. He's compassionate, selfless, grounded. In other words, everything Tony Stark isn't yet. Their bond becomes the emotional core of the movie. When Yinsen tells Tony, "Don't waste your life," that's not just dying advice. That's the mission statement of the MCU. Think about it. Every Avenger, from Steve Rogers to Peter Parker, follows that same principle. They all refuse to waste the life they've been given. That's how Iron Man planted the seeds of Marvel's moral foundation. And when Tony hammers that first suit together, the Mark I, we're witnessing something sacred. Not a weapon, but a redemption arc forged in steel. Chapter 3. The First Flight and the Fall. When Tony escapes the cave in that clunky metal armor, fire exploding around him, it's both literal and symbolic rebirth. He emerges from the flames like a phoenix. Back home, he announces that Stark Industries will no longer make weapons, shocking everyone, especially Obadiah Stane. Here's where the real conflict begins. Progress versus profit, conscience versus corruption. Tony's decision doesn't just redefine his company, it threatens an entire system built on war. And that's why Obadiah becomes the perfect villain. He's not a madman. He's a businessman who sees morality as a bad investment. Every time Tony works on his new suits, it's a metaphor for rebuilding himself. The trial and error scenes, flying too high, crashing, testing thrusters, they're more than comedic relief. They show a man learning humility. The Mark II flight test scene, where he breaks through the clouds and his suit freezes. That's pure symbolism. Tony's arrogance still keeps him from stability. It's not until he balances innovation with empathy that he truly becomes Iron Man. Chapter 4. Pepper, Purpose, and the Price of Power. Let's talk about Pepper Potts. On the surface, she's Tony's assistant. But emotionally, she's his compass. When Pepper replaces his arc reactor, literally holding his heart in her hands, it's one of the most intimate moments in the MCU. The playboy, billionaire finally has to trust someone else with his life. That's a huge shift. Notice how Pepper doesn't worship him like everyone else. She grounds him. Every hero needs someone to remind them what they're fighting for. And for Tony, it's her. This relationship also sets up one of Marvel's strongest emotional through lines. When you rewatch later films, Endgame especially, That bond is what gives Tony's story its ultimate weight. Chapter 5. The Betrayal of Obadiah Stane. Obadiah's betrayal hits hard because it feels personal. He's the father figure Tony thought he could trust. Jeff Bridges plays him like a wolf in a tailored suit, charming, calm until the mask drops. The reveal that he's been selling weapons to terrorists isn't just a twist. It's the movie reminding us that evil often wears a smile and a business card. When Obadiah paralyzed Tony and steals his reactor, it's poetic justice in reverse. Tony once lived off the destruction he sowed. Now he's the one being consumed by it. But that moment in the lab, when Tony drags himself toward his old arc reactor, the one labeled, proof that Tony Stark has a heart. It's pure cinematic poetry. That's not just an energy source. It's the physical symbol of his transformation. Chapter 6. Iron versus Iron. The final battle between Iron Man and Ironmonger isn't just a fight. It's an ideological clash. Obadiah represents the past, greed, control, militarization. Tony represents the future, responsibility, innovation for good. The fight choreography mirrors their personalities. Obadiah's brute force versus Tony's improvisation and intellect. Even when Tony's running low on power, he uses brains over brawn, proving that heart, not hardware, wins. And when he tells Pepper to overload the reactor, and it blows Obadiah sky high, it's a literal purification. The monster born from Stark Tech dies in the fire it created. Chapter 7. I Am Iron Man, the ending. The moment that rewrote superhero cinema. Tony stands before the press, a stack of cue cards in hand. He's supposed to deny everything, to keep the superhero myth alive. But in true Tony Stark fashion, he looks up, smirks, and says the words that changed everything. I am Iron Man. That line was unscripted. Robert Downey Jr. improvised it, and it became the MCU's heartbeat. It shattered the old rule that heroes must hide behind masks. And when you think about it, that's what made Marvel different. The MCU didn't just give us superheroes. It gave us human beings who became heroes anyway. Chapter 8. The universe begins, finally, that post-credit scene. Nick Fury steps out of the shadows, says he's here to talk about the Avenger Initiative, and in that moment, every comic fan in the world lost their minds. It's easy to forget now, but back then, this was revolutionary. Shared universes weren't a thing. No one had ever connected films on this scale before. Iron Man wasn't just the first MCU movie. It was the foundation stone. Every moment, from that cave spark to Tony's confession, was building toward this, a world of heroes. Legacy of a genius. When you look back, it's incredible how much Iron Man 2008 got right. It gave us heart, humor, humanity, and a hero who wasn't born perfect, but built himself piece by piece. Tony Stark